If you want your name mentioned in this song, all you gotta do is drop a $14.99 super chat so Smitty can identify you and drop you in. Get your name in the intro song of every Tuesday, Thursday show.
It's a blue button.
Rock Out and Captain Spock. Rock Out and Captain Spock. I still have to re-record that, but I'm gonna yell that every time manually, because you guys deserve it. Run it back, Ma. Captain Spock. Rock Out.
Super chatters, please come to the front stage. You know who you are. OU Kurt, Mark Cleveland, the Silver Brothers, Austin, Double A, Terry Roberts, please report to the front stage. D2W Stu, your presence is required at the front stage. Unburger, I see you. Tony Turley, we see you lurking over there. Nolan Mendoza, Bender. If you want your name mentioned in this song, all you gotta do is drop a $14.99 super chat so Smitty can identify you and drop you in. Get your name in the intro song of every Tuesday, Thursday show.
It's a blue button.
Run it back, Ma.
Herbert's the gout, he'll punch you in the throat. Herbert's the gout, he'll punch you in the throat.
Would all of the VIP super chatters please come to the front stage? You know who you are. OU Kurt, Mark Cleveland, the Silver Brothers, Austin, Double A.
Yo, welcome to the show. My name is Smitty. What's up, Silver? What's up, Gabe? What's up, Marcus? What's going on? Jared? Would you trade Kelsey for Diggs in a Dynasty League? I would. I would, because Kelsey's getting older, pal. Likes should match the watch count. Come on, people, says Tony. All right, let's get to it today. We got big news today. We've got voicemails. Let me put in the top corner. Drop your voicemail, your voice message on IG at the Fantasy Football Show. I'm going to put that in the corner. So go ahead right now and go to Instagram, the Fantasy Football Show. There's no space there. What am I doing? Let me make that a different color. Go there right now to Instagram and drop your voice message, and I will get to you, play your message, get to your question, and hopefully help you win week 4. Let's play the intro, get to it. I got some news. We'll do the news, After the news, I'll drop the big announcement, and then we'll get to the voicemails. Then we'll go to Fantasy Football Court. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Of course, Super Chats always take priority. If you Super Chat, drop it. Intro.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. I'm Smitty. Take a lap.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Start JT or Swift this week. You got to go Swift, man. You can't put Swift on the bench until, that changes, until you can feel the change. You know what I mean? Like, JT's kind of in a bad spot right now. Would I trade CMC for Mixon and AJB? If you can weather through losing AJB, probably rock out. That might help you win your league if you can weather through that. If you're, I guess even if you're 0-3, Mixon's going to help you more than CMC. So tough to say. I don't know if you're trading Chuba Hubbard in that deal, though. That changes it if you're adding him in there. So re-ask the question if you're going to be doing Chuba. AB or Tim Patrick? Come on, AB gets no respect right now. No respect right now. AB only does what he does in week 1. Has one game in between right now and week 1, and he goes from being everybody's top 5 to 10 wide receiver darling to not even being talked about with Sony. He's being talked about with Sony Michel's, and no, AB is going to drop fire. AB. Okay, 1 week of football is all he's done in between now and his week 1 performance. That's it. He's dropped 1 week of football other than that, and people have already jumped ship. No one's patient. I'm not saying you, Bender, but no one's patient. It's crazy. Thank you, Isaac, Jefferson, and Cooks for Tyreek. Yeah, I do that. I mean, Cooks doesn't do too much. Like, I throw Cooks in to do deals like this, okay? Yeah, I do that. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Jeff. In the news today, let's get to the news real quick. McCaffrey, no update. This is old. I brought it up on screen because I know everybody's going to ask about it, so I want to make sure we just talked about it, addressed it, so we didn't get a, hey, where's the McCaffrey update? Hey, where's the McCaffrey update? The McCaffrey update is there is no update. They're not updating us about anything. What's up, Mark Cleveland in the house? Baked in, boys. Mark in the building. There is no update. They did not put him on injured reserve, which would have kept him out for 3 weeks minimum. So that is good news that they're hopeful that he could come back, with inside that 3 week period of time. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be back within 3 weeks period of time. Like, he has to prove that he's healthy, and his body's going to determine whether he comes back. So we got a lot of optimistic people out there that will say things. I don't know, there's 3 or 4 of them no matter what when we do a talk about this, and they go, no, the Panthers are going to bring him back. like we know. We don't know. Nobody knows right now. You can't say the Panthers are going to do anything because his body will determine whether he comes back. It's not the Panthers. They want him in there. That's what people usually say when they don't own Chuba Hubbard. They only own McCaffrey, and then they come in and say, they want him in there. The Panthers, they want him to play. They're not going to mess around. Like, if anything, they're 3-0. If they win another game, and let's say they're 4-1, walking out of 5 weeks, they're probably going to rest him because they have a pretty decent schedule the next couple weeks. So they might say, hey, you know what? We're going to get this man healthy. We don't want to deal with what we dealt with last year. A grade 1 can turn into a grade 5,000 in a matter of a second. So let's not pretend that a grade 1 means anything in a sense if you're playing on it and you make it worse. Super chat from Aguero. Thank you, pal. Zach Moss, Pollard, Trey Sermon, and Damian Harris, wide receiver 2, DJ Moore. Matchups versus Diggs looks rough. Antonio Brown, Ayuk. I don't know if you're saying to bench Diggs. You don't bench Diggs. You don't put a stud on the bench. I don't know if that's where you're headed with that. Antonio Brown over Ayuk. Diggs over both, if that helps you. And to answer the running back question, can't trust Trey Sermon. I probably go with Damian Harris with James White out for the season. Damian Harris will be the perfect sell high candidate walking into week number 5, because walking into week 4, he's got very little value coming off a bust week last week. He was one of my top sell highs walking into last week, and if you didn't listen, then you walked into the week, he dropped nothing, and then you were extremely disappointed in yourself. And your mom was disappointed because you didn't trade him. But you will have an opportunity to sell high again. But what I will say is that they're going to rotate back somehow, some way. Ramondre Stevenson's going to get in there and start games at some point in 2021. If you need a running back desperately and you want to try and figure out a solution down the road, go get Stevenson and put him on your bench and wait, because I think there's a chance he starts games at some point. He did really well in the preseason. He tore up the preseason. Ramondre Stevenson looked really, really good. And I think you'd be behind the ball if you don't act now and go get this man and put him on your bench. Stevenson is definitely somebody that I think could have some work later on. Super chat from Edit718. Thank you, pal. Start 2, full PPR. Woods, AB, Beasley. Can we stop putting AB in these questions? AB. It's AB. Whenever you're talking about Beasleys and Waddles and Ayuks and even Roberto Trees, if you're talking about guys like that and putting AB in there, it's going to make me infuriated. AB deserves more respect than this. He only was a top 5 to 10 wide receiver coming out of week 1. Everyone and their mother was excited about this man. Then he caught COVID, played 1 additional week, and now he's out of everybody's good graces. I don't understand it. AB, as long as everything looks good and he's playing, it's AB. Then your question is, Edit, who do I start alongside AB? And I'm going to go ahead and go with Roberto Trees. I think Bobby Trees, Bobby Woods, Robert Woods, Roberto Trees, we call him now, is going to probably have that game. I think he's going to have that game. I'm not saying that Cooper Kupp and him will swap at some point during the year, which has happened in previous years. Stafford's different. The situation's different. Stafford loves Kupp. Kupp's looking great. I'm not saying Kupp's going anywhere necessarily, but I don't think Kupp's playing at the current level he's at all year long. You can call me crazy. But I'm gonna sell high on Kupp if it can land me a Justin Jefferson, especially if it can land me a Justin Jefferson and some. That's like my goal here. Kupp's got 1 to 5 wide receiver value right now. Use it to your advantage. I'm not saying trade him low. I'm not saying I don't believe in Kupp. I'm not saying I doubt him. I'm not saying I don't love him. I'm not saying I don't enjoy him on my roster. But I'm all about selling high, buying low, moving different pieces around to accumulate other talent so I can get that talent in my lineup and have 2 big guns. I want Ridley and Gibson in my lineup instead of Kupp and a very, very, a bench player I'm never going to use that's doing well right now, like a Cordero Patterson. Somebody needs a running back. Cooper Kupp. You get their struggling Gibson and Ridley. I take it. I take that. That's me. It may not be you. If you're winning with Cooper Kupp, don't trade him. My point being, I don't think Woods and Kupp are going to swap values or anything. But what do you think defenses are thinking when they walk into a game against the Rams? Let's shut down Woods. Let's see if we can lock down and clamp down Roberto Trees. I don't think so. What they're saying is we got to get our hands on this guy named Cooper Kupp. We need to get both hands on the Kupp. And then it's Roberto Trees is going to be open, I think, in week 4, doing a little bit of what Roberto Trees is used to doing. I don't think he ever returns to the wide receiver 1 in this offense. Again, it's different with Stafford. I don't look at the historical trend of them flipping halfway through the season, which they've done. So go ahead and what can I get for Cooper Kupp? I have Ridley and AJ Brown and Cook, bad running back 2 and 2. I mean, like I just said, man, you can try and turn them into 2 players by giving a bench player. Try and do a 2 for 2 that technically in your mind is a 2 for 1. You're getting 2 players. You're getting Gibson and Diggs. People are doubting Diggs like crazy. We had a question in here where Diggs almost got benched. So Diggs is a very good buy low. I think Diggs can finish higher than Cooper Kupp go forward. Either one could beat the other one out. I'm not saying Kupp can't beat out Diggs from here on out, but I don't want to hear Diggs couldn't beat out Cooper Kupp from week 4 on. Boyd or Sutton? Probably Sutton, but that could go either way. Trade Juju at the same value. Should I drop or trade Juju? I mean, I don't know that Juju's got any value, pal. He's banged up now, too. Supporting my man Smitty, the best in the biz, not remotely close. Thank you, Bender. Thank you, Bender. Big news coming in a second after the news. After the breaking news. Trying to get Ridley, my man, is QB Allen, running back CMC, Swift, Javonte Williams, Tyson, Jefferson. Trying to get Ridley, my man. Okay, so I would probably trade to get Ridley. I mean, if the Cook owner had Ridley, that would be beautiful because you got Madison. Past that, I mean, you kind of can't even trade anything because I don't want you getting rid of Swift or Josh Allen or Jefferson right now. So let Deontay Johnson blow up in week 4. And for all the Deontay Johnson versus scrub wide receivers, the answer is Deontay Johnson. I can hit that right now at the beginning. Deontay is going to be probably the most healthy wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, and he's going to have a big game. And so if Ridley has a bad game again, or if Diggs has a bad game again, or if DK struggles, guess what? You got yourself a buy low opportunity and a sell high opportunity in Deontay and that said wide receiver. I don't see a move you can make right now, pal, unless you're going to trade like CMC for Ridley and Gibson, and I don't even know if I love that. I don't know if I even love that. I don't see Chuba Hubbard on your list here. But I would definitely, without Chuba, I would explore trading McCaffrey or don't do anything at all. Or trade Allen for a struggling quarterback and a big top 5 player at his position. I do that. I look to do that. Only because you're hurting right now. But the better move is to trade Christian McCaffrey if you don't own Chuba Hubbard and try and get 2 players that you shouldn't be getting. Thoughts on Zeke and Woods for CMC? If you don't have Hubbard, I don't know how this move's going to help you win, though, pal. Like, I don't mind it. I don't mind it if you've got, like, if you have Chuba Hubbard on your bench, I don't mind it. I think it could work. But at the same time, you've got Chuba Hubbard and Zeke right now. I feel like this is good trade value. But if you're not 3-0 or 2-1, it's really hard to imagine it working out for you in the end, even though you're getting the player you love. Terry says 85 people in here, 41. Hit the like button. Thank you, Terry. Christian McCaffrey in the news right now. Or I'm not in the news right now. This is old, but we don't have any updates. But just to say to everybody that we're looking like 2 to 3 weeks still, maybe 2 more additional weeks, including, well, you could say this week and the next week, and then they're probably going to look at it. So don't expect him back after one more, like this week. It's not going to probably be 1 week. If I had to guess, I would say he's more likely to sit more time than people want to believe because of the situation. If they lose the next 2 games, then they might be like, okay, we feel a little more pressured to like test it out and take the chance that he doesn't need more time. They're not going to put him in a risky situation if they know he's still hurting. Because the hamstring, boom, he's gonna pop it. So what's gonna happen is he'll test it. If they're pressed for wins and they lose 2 in a row or something weird, then they're gonna be like, okay, let's see what he can do on the field. But if they're 4-1 or 5-2 or whatever, they might continue to try and make sure he's healthy. I'm gonna say 2 weeks minimum. Misses this week, the next week. They reevaluate based on the situation, and he has a good chance to miss at least 1 more. And don't be shocked if it is longer. I just don't see it being shorter coming off of what happened last year. But you never know. You never know. He might be feeling great. They've got different things they inject these days into the body that make a huge difference. So tough to say truly, but I would say venture on the side of caution. And if you only own McCaffrey, look to trade him. Julio Jones, hamstring remains sidelined Thursday. He feels a little more likely to miss week 4 than to play it. So if you've got Julio, expect him to be out. That means we're going to see a whole bunch of Derrick Henry. Now, we've seen this go a couple different ways before. It feels, oh yeah, everything's going to be great. It's going to be Henry Day. Henry's going to have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Look, I feel like that's probably more likely than him busting, because this is the New York Jets, but we've seen different things happen, weirder things happen when there's no offense, there's no ability to move the football down the field. He will see a bunch of stacked boxes, and they're going to make Tannehill win this game through the air using patchwork wide receiver groups. And so there's a good chance that Derrick Henry blows up, but there's also, I think, an equal chance that the offense doesn't move the football as well as people think, even against the New York Football Jets, man. But not saying do anything different than get Derrick Henry out there on the field. What's up, big dog? Okay. Barkley limited in Thursday's practice. This is par for the course. He's going to be limited all year long. Don't expect Barkley to suit up for practices normal at all this year in 2021. That's just not going to happen. Barkley is now going to be that guy that's on the injury report every single week. And it wouldn't shock me if Barkley ran into a scenario where he does have some concern and fear that he may or may not play, a certain week or two here and there. Because that knee coming back from an ACL tear, there's swelling, there's all kinds of... why do you think he's limited with the knee? Like, think about it for a second. For everybody that wants to just always look at the bright side with Barkley, there are some people that own him and they just literally only see the bright side. Like, yeah, I told you. You told me what? It's week 4 and you're going to get your guy? Like, that's why I didn't like Barkley. You had to wait till week 4 to really know what you had. But there's a reason he's limited. There's a reason he's limited. He's not limited for fun. He's limited because his knee is going through a lot. It's been out of action. It hasn't been working at all. It's like... It's rusty, and to be thrown to the wolves, he's going to potentially have issues, swelling, all kinds of things pop up. It is not crazy to think he's going to need a breather. They're trying to give him that breather in the week. Like every week, he's just going to not practice, and they throw him out on the field. But guess what happens in that situation? You're potentially susceptible to further injuries, to hamstring injuries especially. Groin injuries are really common. Ankle and then Achilles. So just hope for the best. I'm not saying that he will get hurt, and I'm not wishing that upon anybody. I'm just saying Barkley's a very susceptible player to injury. 121 people in the room. Punch the thumbs up if you're new, and subscribe if you're new. Chat thoughts on Najee and Ridley for Ridley and Clyde. Thoughts on Najee for Ridley and Clyde. I probably, if you need a move, Joel, like you can't win with your current Najee Harris built team, I would take this gamble, but only if you need a trade. If you're just trying to get stronger, but you have like a top 4 team, I don't know that I trade Najee Harris right now. I could regret that because I think Ridley could bounce back, but there's a chance that Ridley's inconsistent because Atlanta can't get things right. But I do think that it's a good trade, like if you're in that position where you need... Like Terry's working hard here. All Terry's asking you to do is just punch the like button. Takes 1 second, maybe half a second. He just wants the numbers to match. Okay? Terry's just looking out for the show. That's all he wants. He wants the numbers to match. He wants them to be a little more consistent. 120 to 140 people in here. He just wants it to be above 100. Once it's above 100, Terry gets excited. So maybe we ring the bell every time we hit 100 likes on the show, Terry. We ring the bell. Terry does his job. Victory lap for Terry. Ring the bell. It's going to be a thing going forward. Got offered Ridley and Mike Williams for Mike Williams. I take Ridley. I'm not buying into this Mike Williams as a top 5 wide receiver. I like him. He's doing well. But he gets hurt a lot. He's been inconsistent his whole career. I know it's different now. Kind of like with Stafford and Kupp. Like trying to predict, oh, well, Kupp and Wood swap. And no, Kupp's the guy. Everything's different. Stafford's there. Herbert's there. Everything's different for Mike Williams. We can't use historical data without Herbert being involved to predict how good or not good or how quick Mike Williams will drop off. We don't really know, but I would say that the injury part we do know is there for Mike Williams. the disappointment and inconsistency physically and what he brings to the table. We can't predict or project based on the past what Herbert and him, the connection, how that could fall apart or fall off or stay strong. We don't know. All we know is that right now we can get a Ridley, a guy walking into week 1, a top 5 guy, a guy everyone said this could be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football in Calvin Ridley. You can get Calvin Ridley right now for a guy you got in the 7th, 8th, 9th round. Like, I understand Mike Williams could remain. He could. There's a possibility, but why not go and get an opportunity at a top 5 guy right now? I do it. I take Ridley in a heartbeat. I take Jefferson. I take DK. I take Diggs. I take every one of those guys in a millisecond for Mike Williams. I'm just not buying into this. I need to do a video on trade Mike Williams. Trade Mike Williams. Trade Mike Williams. Trade Mike Williams. I need to do a 10,000 trade Mike Williams video. Like, I like him. You got him at 7 to 8 round value. Cash it in. What's the worst that could happen? He continues to play like a top 5 to 7 wide receiver, really plays like a 7 to 10, and you mess up? Like, what's really going to happen on that? Aside from injury, which you can't predict. What happens if you trade him for Diggs, and then Mike Williams continues to be a top 5 to 6 guy? You got Diggs. He's 6 to 10. So, there you go. But Barkley, limited, and he's a concern moving forward, but he's also a guy that definitely looks better every time he's on the field. So that, assuming he stays healthy, he will look better, but the offense still doesn't check down to him. He's not going to get the PPR work that he once had, which is going to make him hard-pressed to be a top 5 running back, just plain and simple. A.J. Brown, hamstring remains sidelined. This is good news in a way. The only thing that concerns me, let me see if I can pull it up on Instagram, but A.J. Brown, the only thing that concerns me, was it Instagram or was it on, was it Instagram? Or I think it was on Instagram. And I totally love the message A.J. Brown has here, so don't get me wrong or twist it up as to what my intention is in bringing this up. A.J. Brown is one of my favorite players. I feel like I found him in some sense. But he did post this on Instagram after the injury, and it said, God makes no mistakes. He does everything for a reason, ups and downs of the game. Like, I just felt like when I saw this, I'm like, okay, I totally love the message. Again, I want to reiterate that. But it made me feel like this isn't something you post when you're going to be out a week or be week to week. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm week to week with something like, yeah, okay, we'll see how that is and then see if I can go Thursday. I don't know that I'm posting something like that. Like, there's no mistakes. This is what you post when you're, like, done for the year or... So, like, it worries me that this could be one of those, like, hidden 3 to 5 week injuries. I don't know if I'm reading into it. I don't know if my detective work is just a little bit overboard here. But I don't know. I don't know. To me, it worries me a little bit. Like, I'm still acquiring them low. I'm still buying low. I'm holding instead of selling super dumb value. But, like, that worries me a little bit, this post right here. Because that doesn't sound like if I'm banged up and I'm week to week, I'm not, like, talking about how, where you've hit, like, a low and you've got to, okay, let's motivate ourselves. Everything happens for a reason, which, again, is a great message. And, there's a plan for everything. Like, you don't do that when you're like, okay, I'm going to sit out Thursday. So I'm a little bit worried about this. It feels a little bit, I don't know. I just hope I'm not right on that. Until we have information, though, I don't think, I think we gotta just assume he's going to be, 1 to 2 weeks, but it worries me. I don't know. Am I wrong on that? Tell me what you think, chat. Hit the thumbs up. 134 in here. Punch the thumbs up. DeAndre Swift remained limited during Thursday's practice. Injury is going to remain a concern for me. I don't care how good he's playing. I will admit Swift is looking really, really strong. We are only 3 weeks in, but I like the way this man is playing football. I've never had a question about his talent. but I still very much worry about his situation. He's sharing work with Williams. Williams isn't going anywhere. Jamal Williams is very good too. Swift is better. They do say you're going to see more and more of Swift, which is great. We just got to make sure he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, he's going to continue to ball out, and he will be one of the guys I should have been higher on, and I admit that. But he's got to stay healthy, and that's my biggest concern. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Mark Cleveland. Mark Cleveland says, thanks for the advice on the Metcalf trade. Traded Deontay Johnson and Chuba Hubbard for Metcalf. Really like that trade for you, Mark. Also, Watson with holding, I hear Eagles are okay. So let's address that. Let me put that on the screen here, because that is definitely a good topic right now. Deshaun Watson. There are rumors right now that the Eagles are in hot pursuit of the man, and we need to talk about Deshaun Watson. Will Deshaun Watson play football in 2021? Will Deshaun Watson get traded to the Eagles in the next week or two or whatever? Will Deshaun Watson be starting for the Philadelphia Eagles in week 6, 7, 8? Let's talk about that. And what does that mean for Jalen Hurts, obviously? Or what do we do with Jalen Hurts? Or how do we feel about Jalen Hurts right now? So let me put this on screen here. Watson won't play again this week is the most recent report. And then the report before that, I can't find it right here on my phone, but Deshaun Watson, there are reports and rumors out there that the Eagles are in hot pursuit right now. The thing I hate about the Eagles organization right now, they don't know how to evaluate talent. I'm sorry. They drafted Devontae Smith, which was the only good move they've done in a while. But they literally feel like a team that just continues to drop the ball, not see talent where it is, and they refuse to trust the man Jalen Hurts. They like literally all offseason long, you heard rumors about they might trade up in the draft to get a quarterback. They might trade for Deshaun Watson. Hey, who's your quarterback? Sirianni, who comes in because the man before him didn't believe in his quarterback, benched his quarterback, created a locker room divide. It created a divide between ownership and himself. And Doug Peterson was ousted after a very, very close Super Bowl appearance, which people said no way they're getting rid of Doug Peterson after a Super Bowl appearance so near in the past. Well, I'll tell you what, they did. And I told you they would fire him. So they bring in Sirianni, and I think to myself, okay, here's a guy that's going to walk in and respect Jalen Hurts, right? Because he saw the former head coach before him get ousted from the organization because of all the divide he created in the locker room everywhere by not believing in him. What does Sirianni do? Who's your quarterback in week 1, Sirianni? I know it's only March right now, but do you believe in Jalen Hurts, or do you like Flacco or someone else? It's going to be a competition. We don't know what our starting quarterback looks like right now. It may or may not be Jalen Hurts. We're going to go ahead and ding his confidence once more. Not only was he ripped out of the game in 2020 several times, we benched him. We're going to go ahead and not support him publicly right now as our starting quarterback. And we may trade up. We'll see. Like that's the stance this team takes with their future gunslinger. That, I'm sorry, I don't care how he looked last week. He's got a crappy situation right now. And people are dropping the ball left and right on that man. And I love the way he categorized the loss. How do you feel about the loss? Well, he's like, when you take a deuce, you don't stare at it. You flush it and you move on. Paraphrased. And that's exactly how I would have answered the question. You guys know that. So, Deshaun Watson, would it surprise me if the Eagles traded for him right now? No. It wouldn't surprise me one single bit. But does that mean he's starting in 2021? I don't know. The NFL could step in. Everyone thinks the NFL won't step in because they haven't yet. That is not true. The NFL, I believe, would be under a lot of pressure. Keep in mind, Deshaun Watson's sponsors all dropped him for the most part coming out of this, early parts of this case that he's involved in with over 20 accusers that are cases are still pending. 20 separate cases. It's not one individual case. They were all consolidated, which doesn't mean that it's a class action as one case. It just means that a lot of the processes that they would do, like getting an affidavit, get it all done in waves through one attorney, because one attorney is representing all 20 plus people. So you can streamline and consolidate a lot of the processes to make it a quicker paperwork and filing type of process for both parties. It doesn't mean that the case is down to one. It means there are 20 separate cases still that have to individually settle. And while you could say, hey, could it get pushed forward? We've seen stuff like that happen before, where legal stuff gets pushed forward into the future, and then you have, a delay and a delay and a delay, and then a player can play during the delay because, frankly, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? But not in the NFL. Not in the NFL. And when sponsors and advertisers are involved, and you've already seen sponsors jump ship on Watson, what makes you think NFL sponsors and advertisers aren't going to go, okay, we haven't said anything because we haven't had to, because the Texans took care of this for you, and the Texans decided to sit their best player? Like, most teams have been like, okay, until we hear, we're going to start him. But no, the Texans want to burn down the house. The Texans ownership and owner and the entire organization is the worst organization in football. The worst organization in football. They would rather burn down the house than see Deshaun Watson get anything out of this, is what their stance has been. And it's pretty out in the open too. Everyone pretty much knows this to be true. They would literally burn down the house. Just completely burn it down before they would give Watson a way to come out on top on this. I don't know why. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if there's something that we don't know about between Watson and the owner. Like, did he go over to his house at dinner one time and drop a deuce on the table? We don't know. We don't know what he did, but he can't stand him. He wants the man to burn to the ground, before he's going to give him what he wants. Now, it seems like the news is trending to where the Texans maybe they feel good enough about what they've done, the damage they've done. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm speculating here. But now they want to get rid of Watson potentially to get something. But they aren't playing him. They could play him. They could try and play him, see what the NFL does, but they don't. So if they trade him away, this is the same team that traded DeAndre Hopkins for a ham sandwich to the Arizona Cardinals and improved our defensive line. Our defense. That's my hometown team. It is an embarrassment, says Ronaldo. I agree. This has been a debacle, this whole situation in the offseason. And if you think the NFL is going to just sit on their hands and not do anything, I think you have high expectations for this situation working out. I will say, that said, I would, if I'm a Hurts owner and I have no other quarterback, I might contemplate picking up Watson right now just to protect myself in case the Texans trade Watson to the Eagles and the Eagles are capable of overlooking the talent that is Jalen Hurts, who could be a top 6 to 10 quarterback if you gave this man enough support. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we don't know what's going to happen. Rumors are kicking up, but rumors kicked up a couple months ago on this and nothing happened. Okay, because the threat of the NFL stepping in is why teams are afraid to make a move. And maybe in closed doors, they've said, look, you do this, we're gonna put them on the exempt list, pal. So don't make the trade. We don't really know exactly what's going on. So pick up Watson if you own Hurts and only Hurts, and you're going to be in a bind if something happens. Mark Cleveland, I appreciate your super chat. Anthony, thank you for the super chat. If you got a question, please drop it. Appreciate you, pal. Torres and Draper, thank you for the questions. Torres says, would you trade CMC and Allen Robinson for Eckler and Diggs? No, I wouldn't do that. When you're trading Christian McCaffrey, you need to trade him for 2 players. You don't give up another player and make it a somewhat even trade. Like, that's when you start messing with the intention of getting rid of him. You got to get 2 players for one, or give up somebody really small. A-Rob's not small. Even though A-Rob's been disappointing, he's not small. He's not a throw-in to the deal. You're counting on A-Rod bouncing back at some point, and he probably will with Fields getting, his feet under him. Darnold and AJ for Herbert and Higgins. Darnold and AJ Brown for Herbert and Higgins. I'd probably take Herbert and Higgins right now if you need wins, pal. Like, if you're 3-0, it's a different story. You could wait on AJ. But if Herbert is going to be your starter over Darnold, and I know Darnold can do well and look good at times, I'm taking Herbert and Higgins probably in this situation because you're immediately upgrading. And if you're down, you're 1-2 or 0-3, I think you gotta make that move. Aaron Jones, limited during Thursday's practice. Something to monitor, and keep in mind A.J. Dillon is one of the top 3 must-own handcuffs in fantasy football. Shameful if you drafted Aaron Jones and did not cuff Dillon. I've been talking about it all offseason long. I've been talking about reaching over a round too early to make sure you cuff Dillon to Aaron Jones, because right now it feels like glory, right? Aaron Jones looks fantastic. A.J. Dillon's not vulturing anything. I don't even like A.J. Dillon anymore, is what the Aaron Jones owner is probably thinking in his head. But all it takes is 1 week. He's always kind of banged up and on the injury report. He's been pushing through it over the years, but he's a very injury-prone guy that's been doing well the last couple of years, staying on the field. He had a lot of injury history walking into his breakout year where I put him on my top 10 my top 7 bold predictions, and the dude dropped fire that year. One of my bigger lands on the bold predictions in the last 5 years. And I love Aaron Jones. I do. But he's injury-prone still. He has not shaken that label free in my mind. He's always banged up. And if you own Dillon, you have to own... if you own Aaron Jones, you have to own Dillon. And you can maybe get Dillon cheap right now because people that drafted him expecting a lot were probably people are so impatient. After 3 weeks, they're probably maybe this wasn't the best, move. But if you go outright and ask for Aaron Jones or Dillon, they won't give him to you. The Dillon owner is going to be like, why are you asking about Dillon? Haha, I guess I do have something here. I'm not trading him for anything now. You got to get crafty. You got to look. You got to ask about 4 or 5 other players first, before you start digging around and saying, what do you want for Dillon? Because they're just going to say no. They're going to say no. I got to get a longer loop. Okay. Looks like I'm playing an ad. What am I doing? Whatever. Forget the loop today. Terry says, Smitty, I picked up A.J. Dillon on waivers on my 18 league Monday. I like it, bro. Smart move. If A.J. Dillon is out there, make sure you go get him. Okay, let's get through the news. Anthony, I don't see any... Oh, here's your question, Anthony. What type of running back or wide receiver could I explore for Gibson or Sutton? The usual suspects as of right now: Diggs, Ridley, DK. You could get AB and somebody, but definitely get more. I don't think you could get Keenan Allen, but you could try. But I would go after one of those top guys, pal. One of those top 5 wide receivers. But I don't know that I do it. I still like Gibson a little bit. I don't know that I for sure do it. I'm just letting you know. You asked me the question. Just letting you know. Libertarian says, traded Carson and D. Harris for CMC. Carson and Damian Harris. Excellent trade. Still have Zeke, Barkley, Javonte, 10-man. I love it. Excellent move. That's how you execute a trade for Barkley type of trade. Dillon limited in today's practice as well. Yes, Dillon is also limited in today's practice, but both of them should be fine. I don't know that I worry too much about the current injuries. I guess I would just say that it's a reminder that the backfield is going to get banged up, and there will be a time where one starts and one doesn't. There might be a time where both are banged up. Thanks, Nation. I appreciate that. Who can I possibly go for with Sermon and Mitchell? Sermon, you could get Bobby Trees, Roberto Trees. You could get man, I don't know. Add a little more and go after a hurt AJ Brown. Maybe that owner will surrender AJ Brown. So anyway, Aaron Jones banged up but looking okay. This man right here is gonna have a big week 4, I think. He's the healthiest of the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, and this man might have such a big game that your trade value prospects will be pretty solid. And you might be like, oh, I don't know if I want to trade him, but he's very inconsistent, very injury prone. If he blows up, definitely test the trade waters is what I'm saying. 154 people in here, 96 likes. Bring it. We hit 100. I ring the bell. Deontay Johnson, going to have a big week. Get him in your lineups. Dalvin Cook remains limited. No update on this other than that he's trending in a direction of potentially playing. But it wouldn't shock me at all if, he's limited. Like, how limited is he? We just hear limited. There's not a whole lot of, distinction as to what kind of practice, how much practice he's actually partaking in. If I had to guess, I would say he's 45% chance of playing. And then there's a, 55% chance that Madison starts week 4. And we get one more week out of Madison. Oh, great. Thank you. Who your daddy? Who could I try to move A.J. Brown for? Gibson. Clyde. If you're wanting to go running back. If you want to go wide receiver. Give up a little bit and get Ridley. 101 likes. 101 likes. Terry making it happen. Terry doing good work. Terry, we're going to ring the bell, pal. We're going to ring the bell. 200. God, that's loud. That bell is so loud. 200 likes. Thank you, Terry. Terry does his job every single day of the week. Terry comes and brings the thunder every single show. He always gets our likes up to 100. Dude's a beast. So I'd say trending in a better direction because he didn't play last week, but he still feels like in the 40s. Not quite 50-50 that Dalvin Cook's going to play week 4. But I'll have more updates on Friday and Saturday night during the live stream. Get the fire back on. It's going to get cold here in Arizona. And when I say cold for Arizonians, I mean it's going to get down into the 60s pretty soon. And we're going to be real chilly here in Arizona. Sometimes it gets into the 38-degree area or the 40s. Can you imagine the big coats we put on here in Arizona when it gets colder? We love our cold weather here. Super chat from Joel. I think I'm caught up on my super chats. Libertarian, thank you again. Terry, thank you for your super chat. Anthony, thank you for the super chat. Torres and Draper, appreciate you. Appreciate your super chat, Mark Cleveland. Appreciate your super chat, not Tom. And I hope you traded and got Ridley, pal. Joel, appreciate you, Joel, again. Rock out, not Tom again. Aguero, Bender, Edit 718. Appreciate all you guys always dropping the super chat love. It helps the channel grow. If you had to bet your life, give you 5 plus or minus how many points for J-Rob tonight? Woo! My life on the line. I'm going to say, let's say 45, 47, 8.5 points. 8.5 points. 8.5 points for J-Rob tonight. If my life was on the line, and I plus or minus 5, he said. Plus or minus 5. That's pretty good. I think that's accurate. That gives me some good wiggle room to get out of that one. In full PPR, Dynasty League 3-0, should I trade B. Cooks and Waddle for Waddle? Yeah, I probably would. If you're 3-0, you're not using B. Cooks. I mean, maybe you are. I probably would. I feel like in a dynasty format, it's different. I like Waddle more. Waddle's got decent upside. I'd probably do that. Just got offered Deontay Johnson, Corey Davis, and Aaron Rodgers, I assume, for Dak. Dak, Corey Davis, Deontay. If you need a wide receiver, Dak and McLaurin. No. I thought it was for Dak straight up. Like that should give you an indication of how I value that trade then. Because if it was just for Dak, I'd be a little tempted if you needed a wide receiver and you needed to like change things up for your team. But no, you're giving up McLaurin too? Like no, like the McLaurin's better than Deontay in my mind and Corey Davis combined. I take McLaurin. Okay, and Dak I take over Rodgers, although you could argue it, but so you're giving up both sides of your trade are the best side of the deal, dude. Like no. Silver. Bates is out. He plays single high safety role. Big loss, says Silver. I think you lose that bet, broski. I'll go with 14. Well, you better hope I don't, so I'm here in the morning, pal. My lineup should be... Okay, let me throw that on screen. I think I'm caught up on the super chats here. My lineup should be... Smitty approved. Kyler, Zeke, Gibson, DJ Moore, Chase, Clyde. Are we still worried about these three backs or stand pat? I'm worried about Zeke, Gibson, and Clyde. We're not worried about Zeke right now. We're a little worried about Gibson, but not. At what cost? Like, what are you gonna do? Trade him, bench him? No. Like Clyde, same thing. If you could trade him for something like Ridley or something, I would. A Diggs or a struggling player that's also, struggling. I would definitely do that. But doesn't look like we're gonna be able to get that for Clyde right now. Try it. Try and get Ridley. Try and get Diggs. Try and get DK for Clyde. Otherwise, you stand pat. Okay. Now on to the exciting news, everyone. I'm really excited to announce something pretty big. Let me play the video, and then we'll move on. Drop your voice messages if you want to be a part of that. Here is the video. I can't tell you how excited I am to announce that the Fantasy Football Show has been brought in a very, very small group of podcasters, not just across sports, like in general, have been brought in as early adopters to the video format that is now on Spotify. You may have seen the Joe Rogan Show. The Joe Rogan Show, the video show, is on Spotify. We're not leaving YouTube. Nothing changes on YouTube. Nothing. I'm not taking away shows. Nothing. YouTube is going to stay as is, live streams, everything. But not only will you be able to watch the content on Spotify from my show, I will be producing additional shows, not taking away from YouTube, additional Spotify only original content, which means you can't get the content that I'm going to add to my docket of weekly content. You can't get it anywhere else but on Spotify. We're growing this Spotify community and taking the fantasy football video space on Spotify by storm. So spread the word, get ready, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be a part of the growth that Spotify's about to drop on the video space. It's going to be like a YouTube experience for podcasting on Spotify. On each of my podcasts going forward, they will all be video and audio, meaning you don't have to watch it like watching a YouTube video. You can listen to it. But what Spotify has designed into the app is that if you lock the screen, it turns into an audio podcast. Based on how you hold the phone, it's either an audio show or you can click and rotate the phone, it becomes a video show. It switches back and forth to match your desire if you want to listen to an audio podcast or watch the actual show. Nothing changes on Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio. The audio show will continue to be available everywhere. My audio pod doesn't change other than on Spotify, every single show daily will be a video show. You need to go, unfortunately for you, great for me, to 2 different places now to consume my content. But ultimately, that's great. Spotify is one of the fastest growing, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a part of this growth and I'm excited about it. It's literally one of the best evolving products for video, audio, podcasting, brand building, community, and now in every one of my shows, which will be video and audio, every one of them moving forward once this takes effect. And it's going to take, I think, about a good month or so. It could be less, it could be a little more. Be patient. It'll probably be in October, at the end of October when this happens. So it's not going to happen right away this week. But once the transition happens and I become a video show on Spotify, one of the rare few across all genres and industries, once we launch the show in video format on Spotify, you're going to have polls inside each video where I might ask a question, like in the case of the Panic Chamber episode that I just dropped on YouTube. If that's on Spotify, I'm going to ask what player is the most risky to you. And just like YouTube, there's comments and you can get involved, and we create a community on Spotify. And again, I'm not taking away a single video or live stream or whatever I'm doing on YouTube. I'm bringing that YouTube content over to Spotify in video format, but I'm doing Spotify exclusive content as well. So tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell everybody about the show, the video show that's dropping on Spotify in less than like a month. Get ready. I can't tell you how excited I am. I love Spotify. It's my favorite podcast platform. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not just saying that. I absolutely love Spotify. To be a part of the evolution of Spotify going into the video space, to be an early adopter, to be asked to come in and do this, I'm just honored. I'm excited, and we're gonna tear it up. We are going to be the face of fantasy football on Spotify, and it all starts right now. Well, less than a month maybe.
Get ready.
Yo. Welcome to the show again. And so, yeah, as you guys can see, I'm really excited about this. There are not a lot of other video shows on there right now, period. They're bringing in a handful of them for sure. But it's going to be, let me see here. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So how it's going to work is basically when you're on Spotify right now, like if you click on the Joe Rogan show, which is the main video show that they have, and you click on it, it's going to separate the file into an audio file and a video/audio file, right? And so if you want to listen to it, if you lock your phone, it immediately flips to the audio version of your show and the video like goes dormant, right? And so you listen to the show like it's a podcast, like you have. If you listen to me on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or wherever, you're listening to an audio show. Like you can lock your phone and your podcast plays in the background. So if that's the case, you just listen to it like normal. But if you look at the actual play bar, you can click on it and then it expands into the video and you can turn it and watch the show. But because we're going to be one of the few fantasy football or even like NFL shows on there initially, it will open up to more people, but initially we'll have a big jump on it. We need to hit it hard, man. We need to take over right away because we're gonna have a nice little run on everybody, and I'm certainly gonna be cranking out the content. So we're gonna create specific Spotify only content in addition to all the other stuff I'm doing. So nothing changes on YouTube. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, what about YouTube? They don't do live streams on Spotify, so like you know you're safe. The content's safe. But I'm just gonna do some exclusive stuff. So if you want to get over there, I'll probably create a couple series that I only do on Spotify. Like, you know, something fun that you guys absolutely love to watch, and that'll make everybody spread the word and get over there. And the communities are going to be awesome too, the community over there, because they've just launched polls and like Q&A type of thing where I could say, hey, who's your favorite player this week? And then we all can comment. So I want you guys to get in the habit of commenting on those Spotify videos every time. I'll pose a question on every video, and then it'll have an ability to where you can scroll down on the video and click comment. So yeah, let's send the show to the chopper. Get him to the chopper. Get him in the lineup now. Get the show into the Spotify lineup now. Get ready. Thank you, pal. I appreciate it. I'm really excited about it, man. I'm really excited about it. Mood, super chat, 14-man, 2 QB league. My team hurts. Goff, Lawrence. Running backs are Barkley, Aaron Jones, Sermon, Carter. Wide receivers are Cooper, Galladay. Yeah, I could see. Trade one to fix my team. one trade left to fix your team. You only get one trade left. They minimize your trade abilities. That's weird. I hate that. That's ridiculous. I don't know how you fix this team with one trade, pal. Like Cooper, you're not going to get enough for Cooper in a trade right now. Everyone wants to see him do something. A-Rob, no one's going to take A-Rob right now for the value you need. Barkley, you could maybe sell high. If you could get like a Gibson and a wide receiver for Barkley, I would do that. Like a good wide receiver. If you could do A-Rob and I don't know, Barkley and Swift, and then getting a wide receiver seems to be something that people do. Like example, you might not pull it off. Some people are smart enough to know that Swift has maybe more value than Barkley right now, or could have equal value. But I've seen people get rid of Barkley and get Swift and Deontay, like something like that. That could maybe help you, but that's a tough thing to get out of with one trade. Aaron Jones, dividing Aaron Jones into a Gibson and Ridley, I would look at that mood. But you definitely have to do something, pal. And trying to upgrade that quarterback spot too. You can maybe do that. Aaron Jones for Gibson, and maybe somebody's got two quarterbacks like A-Rod and like Brady or something, and you could get one of those guys in Gibson for Aaron Jones. I mean, that's something you could look at doing. Here's another super chat. Should I trade away Pat Mahomes and Kareem Hunt for Tom Brady and Alvin Kamara? Yes. I would take Alvin Kamara and Tom Brady. Thank you for the super chat, pal. All right, it's time for voicemails. Where's my week 4 graphic? I kicked it when I was trying to get it out of the way. Here it is, week 4. And where's my music? Where's my music? All right, on to voicemails. You know how to drop one, right? You go to IG, Instagram, The Fantasy Football Show. Let me type out Instagram because some people don't do the best job reading. Drop your voicemail. Let's break it down. Let's kick back. Enjoy it. Play the voicemails. This is from Silver Rapture. Mr. B. Han.
Smitty is Silver Rapture. That's what I'm looking at, man. I got Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Calvin Ridley, Darren Waller as my main starters. And I got Madison if Cook don't go. And then I'm looking for 2 starters here, 1 receiver, 1 flex. But pretty much all I got's a bunch of tail end receivers, really. So I'm looking at Jacoby Myers versus Tampa Bay, Cole Beasley versus Houston, Tim Patrick versus Baltimore, and Robbie Anderson versus Dallas. I know ain't none of them really the greatest, but I'm trying to get 2 of them guys in there. What do you think, man?
I like Jacoby Myers a lot. Silver Rapture, I think you're going to be okay with him. He's got that good wide receiver 3, hidden wide receiver 3 potential. So I'm putting Jacoby in, and I'm not really thinking twice about it. Like he had a pretty decent week last week, right? And Mac's gonna lock onto him. Once Mac gets going a little bit more, then Jacoby's gonna get going a little bit more. We thought Mac would do a little bit better than he's been doing early on in the season. All these rookie quarterbacks have been a little bit slow starting, which has been surprising because they felt like they were going to be different. And I think they still can be, but definitely feel like things have changed for all the rookie quarterbacks like at once. It's been crazy. A rude awakening into the NFL for them, even though they looked really promising coming out of the preseason. So Jacoby for me.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, I would have had T. Higgins, but he's out. And I got Chase Claypool, but now today he got downgraded to questionable, and Deontay and Juju's both practicing, so that's a little sketchy.
Yeah, gotcha, pal. Appreciate you. Next voice message. I think Media left me a message, so I'm going to play this one.
Hey, all good, Smitty. No worries. I understand it's busy for you. So my question is that in a league with Justin Herbert, Alvin Kamara, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Boyd, TJ Hawkinson, Mike Davis, Buccaneers defense and special teams, Uku is my kicker, and then my bench is Javonte Williams, Michael Pittman Jr., Chuba Hubbard, Elijah Moore, Jared Cook, James White, Kirk Cousins, and I have Jerry Jeudy right now in IR. And so my team right now is
What's your question?
weekly, and I'm not sure what to do with this team because I'd be thinking at least I would have won maybe one or two of the weeks so far, and so I'm not sure if I should, trade any players in particular, and I just need your help and, what I should do basically, so thank you.
Okay, so I think he's also give me his team here. Let me repeat. Let me just play the very beginning of that again. I won't put you guys through the entire thing. Media.
No worries. I understand. It's busy for you. So my question is that in a league with Justin Herbert.
Hold on, Kyler Murray. You don't sit Kyler Murray, Matt. You don't sit Kyler Murray, Matt. I'm in the middle of voice messages, but I had to stop because I see this question. Start Hurts over Kyler. Number one, this team is not believing in Hurts, man. You don't know when they're gonna pull the plug on this guy. Like you think you're gonna sleep like a baby the night you bench Kyler Murray for Jalen Hurts and something happens. So no, you don't bench Kyler ever. I don't care who he faces. I don't care if he faces two I don't care if he faces two. I mean, there's no defense that even makes me think about benching Kyler, pal. And I hear a lot of players. So let's see. This game is on the road. The Rams are tough, but I don't care. It's a divisional game. It's gonna be a hard fought battle. Like, this is one of those games where, let's say Kyler is shut down more than normal in one area of his game. He has another avenue. When he doesn't pass well, he can run well. When he doesn't run well, he can pass well. Don't even think about it, Matt, or you're taking a lap immediately.
Herbert, Alvin Kamara, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Boyd, TJ Hawkinson, Mike Davis, Buccaneers, defense and special teams, Luku is my kicker, and then my bench is Javonte Williams, Michael Pittman Jr., Chuba Hubbard.
Oh, I don't know. Media, this is way too long of a question for the show. This is like, we're a rapid fire type of environment. Let me break this down with you privately. That's just, I don't even know where to start, pal. But I appreciate you. And ask me a voice message, and I will get to you on the show too. Otherwise, I'll get back to you later. We're in voicemail segment, pal. Okay. Let's go to Evan.
Traded Henderson for Mike Evans. What do you think?
I like it. Henderson for Mike Evans. How'd you pull that off? I love that deal. Mike Evans is a top 10 potential wide receiver. Absolutely love it.
Robert Woods, Brandon Ayuk, and Chris Carson for Ridley and Cordarrelle Patterson.
Cordarrelle?
What do you think?
Cordarrelle? How'd you?
Robert Woods, Brandon Ayuk, and Chris Carson for Ridley and Cordarrelle Patterson.
Cordarrelle?
What do you think?
I think I don't know who
Robert Woods, Brandon Ayuk, and Chris Carson for Ridley and Cordarrelle Patterson. What do you think?
I think I'd take Ridley and Cordarrelle. Cordarrelle's doing good things on the daily. Cordarrelle Patterson.
Differently, Higbee or Goddard? Thanks, Mick.
Higbee or Goddard? Goddard. Higbee. It's really close. Higbee. I like Goddard a lot, but Higbee. Go Higbee. Cordarrelle.
Robert Woods, Brandon Ayuk, and Chris Carson for Ridley and Cordarrelle Patterson. What do you think?
I love the Cordarrelle side, pal. I'm serious. I'm not just playing it over and over because I'm having a good time. I love it. I love that side of the trade.
Hey, Spitty. Joel here. Congrats on the Spotify thing.
Thanks,
That's
Joel.
Exciting stuff. Guess I'll have to renew my Spotify premium membership.
I mean, hold on. You don't need to renew any premium membership. Like, you can still watch everything on the Spotify video show without purchasing anything. But, I'm not going to tell you not to renew the premium for the advantages I guess you can get for it, but you don't need to.
The question is Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith in the flex? Thanks, buddy.
This Eagle game is it on the road? No, it's at home against the Chiefs. I like the Devontae Smith was disappointing last week. I'm not gonna lie. Waddle. What did Waddle do last week? Let's look up Waddle. I want to type in Cordarrelle Patterson as well. See if he pops up. I'm tired. Waddle had, caught 12 passes last week. That's why everybody keeps asking about Waddle. I mean, he didn't have a touchdown. He only had 58 yards, but I've been wondering why. I didn't know he had caught 12 passes. Why everybody's been talking about Waddle. Like, should I get Waddle? Should I trade for Waddle? Like, and I'm like, what? He had 58 yards. But he caught 12 of 13 passes. That's a lot of targets. I mean, Brissett loves him clearly. I'm going to lean. I like Devontae Smith, but I don't trust the Philadelphia Eagles right now. And I'm not saying I trust the Dolphins, but Brissett's kind of like back to the wall. Unless you got a Cordarrelle Patterson or something, like Waddle's probably the pick here. But, man, that could go 100 different ways.
Hey, Smitty. Joel here. Congrats on the Spotify.
That looked like a new message. Thanks, Joel. I appreciate you, Joel. Joel, I'm going to follow you back, Joel. There you go, Joel. Joel's a beast.
Smitty, I was able to pick
Hold on. Did you guys hear the veteran that is Terry Roberts? You heard my show in the background. As soon as he hit record, you heard me, and I was about to go, Terry, and then all of a sudden Terry turned it down. Veteran move, Terry.
Westbrook from the Titans because Julio Jones is out and A.J. Brown's out. And the reason why I picked Westbrook is because they're playing the Jets. I know Derrick Henry's going to go off, but I have a feeling Westbrook is going to get a touchdown. Your thoughts?
I mean, I could see anything happening with all the wide receivers banged up or out, potentially out. We don't even know if let me try and pull them up. Westbrook. He had 4, and if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Westbrook, I don't know how you say his last name. It's hyphenated, but we'll just call him Westy. Westy had 4 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown last week, surprisingly. So a lot of people didn't know that. That was against the Colts. He plays the Jets this week, as Terry informed us all. I could see it, man. I mean, he had a touchdown last week and 4 targets, so if that entire wide receiver crew is out, that 6'2", 211-pound man might drop a little bit of fire. We'll see. If you're in a bind, it's not a bad move. Yeah, that Waddle 12 catches was crazy for Waddle in week 3. I didn't realize he had that many catches.
And I'm not saying Jacoby Myers makes me nervous because he's playing Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Jacoby is a tough play. What did I say earlier about Jacoby? No, the Dolphins play the Colts, pal. Jacoby Brissett plays the Colts. You were confusing me there, Terry. Threw me for a loop there. I'm like, what? Tampa Bay? No, Tampa Bay plays New England. Okay. Ben.
So, in a different league, Higbee or Goddard? Thanks, Smitty.
Higbee or Goddard? Higbee.
McCaffrey. Thanks.
I don't know what that said. You just said McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. Thanks.
McCaffrey. Thanks. You're welcome.
2 receivers out of these 4. Chark, Jacoby Myers, OBJ, and Tyler Boyd. 2 receivers out of these 4. Chark, Jacoby Myers, OBJ, and Tyler Boyd.
Chark and...
2 receivers out of these 4. Chark, Jacoby Myers, OBJ, Tyler Boyd.
How did Odell do last week? What were his final numbers? Everyone wanted to start him last week. Everybody was super amped about him. He did run the ball one time, which was interesting for his health. He's healthy enough to run the football. 5 receptions for 77 yards. Plays the Vikings this week in Minnesota. Let's see how Higgins is looking. He should be out. Outside chance of him playing week 4, but probably not. So Boyd, what did Boyd do in week 3? I don't even know, to be honest with you. Boyd dropped 4 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown, which was nice to see. He had 73 yards the week before. I don't know. This one's tough. Let's ask the chat. I mean, chat, what do you think?
2 receivers out of these 4.
Chark,
Kobe
Myers,
OBJ,
and
Tyler Boyd.
What do you guys think? I'm kind of leaning Odell Beckham Jr. and Jacoby Myers myself, but I wouldn't be opposed to Boyd and Odell Beckham Jr. So help a pal out, help Ben out, drop it in the chat. Ben, look at the chat for the answer. I'm gonna lean Odell and Boyd, I think. But it's close between Boyd and Jacoby for me.
Schultz, Conklin, or Gesicki?
Gesicki and Schultz are pretty close for me this week. I think Gesicki's going to probably get a lot of volume. I probably lean... What was Gesicki's line last week? I mean, Brissett loves him. 10 of 12 targets. What is Brissett doing? He's literally feeding a couple people 12 plus targets. Like, that's crazy. 10 for 86. I mean, maybe this week you go Gesicki and you see what's what. I mean, Brissett's kind of like, he's a special little guy, that Brissett. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Brissett a lot. When this is going to sound weird and my Niner people are going to laugh at me here, but I was pushing for the Niners to get Brissett when we were talking in the quad box on Fridays. I don't know if you remember that media, but I like Brissett. I think Brissett's crafty. 32 for 49, only 215 yards though, but 32 of 49 passing in week 3 for Brissett for only 215 yards, but 7 rushes for 37 yards. He's a baller. He's a baller. And I don't know. I kind of like him right now. I'm not starting him in fantasy, but I mean, I just like how he gets things done. You know, he'd be my favorite. He's kind of backup quarterback I want on my team. You know, that's like a Fitzpatrick backup. You love him. You love your backup when you have a Brissett or a Fitzpatrick. Big Bub says, thanks, chat. Boyd and Myers for me, says Mark. Boyd and Odell, Jacoby and Boyd, Myers and Odell, Boyd and Jacoby, says Rapture.
Problem with Gesicki is I'm already starting Waddle on my flex, so I'm scared to start both of them.
Well, apparently they're each going to get 10 receptions, so I don't know. They're each going to get 10 receptions for 40 yards. Yeah, I guess then in that case, let me hear your...
Schultz, Conklin,
I mean,
or Gesicki.
Schultz is playing great. Go Schultz and Waddle, I suppose.
Matthew Stafford or Jalen Hurts? That's what I said last time. It doesn't start recording until like 3 seconds in, though.
Yeah, wait till you see it, the levels when you're holding down, I guess.
Matthew Stafford or Jalen Hurts? That's what I said last time.
Okay, well, I don't trust Hurts right now. Not because of him, because of the darn team, pal. So Stafford for me. Pretty easy call. It's a pretty safe call.
Hey, Smitty. I know you mentioned that Monty's a panic player for you right now. Would you be trying to sell him now, or do you have confidence he can put up a good game against Detroit this week and maybe try to sell him next week?
it all depends on what you can get. If you can get like another doubted Gibson or another doubted DK or another doubted player in Ridley, like I'm selling cross position, especially if you can weather through the running back loss. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is another, doubted player you could trade him in for. You're probably not, unless you give up like a Cooks or a Lockett, you're probably not upgrading Monty into a Zeke Elliott or anything. But of course, if you could, I would. I think right now people are so worried about him. You need him to do well in order to get rid of him. I think at anything close to fair value to you and what you invested and what you need. So I'm going to probably say wait, pal. And media, if you're in here watching, simplify your question or something. Give me a couple players, media, and I'll play the recording. Otherwise, I will help you for sure offline. It was just such a long question, man. Like I could have went and made a sandwich and came back and it was.
My man Smitty.
What's up, Bender?
Checking in with you. This is Bender.
Bender.
Did a trade straight up. AB for Allen Robinson. I guess a lot of people think I was crazy with Allen Robinson being the number one. What's your take? Thanks.
Bender, I don't know. This is not a take a lap, situation or anything like that. But I do feel like AB dropped. Like I don't understand the AB doubt right now. He dropped fire in week one. And I can't. I mean, you remember, you were here. Everyone's like, he's a wide receiver 1. Oh my God, I knew it. AB, we knew he was a wide receiver 1. We absolutely knew it. We knew it. He is who we thought he was. And then he has one bad game after that. And then he has COVID. And now everybody's like, AB's trash. Now, I will say, trading for a wide receiver 1, and Allen Robinson is not playing like a fantasy football wide receiver 1. I think most people would categorize him as a wide receiver 2 in fantasy, right? You received AB. I think, did you say that? I could have swore you said it the other way.
My man Smitty. Checking in with you. This is Bender. Did a trade straight up. AB for Allen Robinson.
Yeah, the way you're saying is you traded AB for Allen Robinson. So, you'll probably like my answer then. Allen Robinson could potentially get back to low-end wide receiver 1 fantasy football numbers because I think Fields will eventually get his feet under him and try and fend off the darn curse of the Chicago Bear coaching staff and I just don't believe in the Bears at all. They're going to have such a tough time. But Fields is talented enough, I think, to get in a rhythm at least. And even if they're losing games, like he can move the football down the field. But that said, we don't really know. We haven't seen it. And the fact that Fields hit the field and didn't do it, we don't know if they're going to pull Fields off the field. Like, they go back to Dalton. They literally wanted to go back to Dalton before Fields played a game. So if you think Fields is going to stay on the field, I don't know. I take AB. I like it, Bender. I thought you were saying the other way, the way you worded it, but let's go to the next question.
To clarify, I received AB.
There you go. There you go. That message would have been helpful had I played it.
Traded A-Rob for AB. Thoughts?
Well, I think we covered that one. I appreciate that, Bender. Rock out.
Hey, Smitty, the extreme option on defense. Don't really trust the Panthers this week, so these are my options. New York Giants, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Cleveland Browns, or Atlanta Falcons.
Cleveland Browns, Atlanta Falcons. Let me replay that again.
Hey, Smitty, the extreme option on defense. Don't really trust the Panthers this week, so these are my options. New York Giants, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Cleveland Browns, or Atlanta Falcons.
I'd probably go with Green Bay. I feel like they can make plays. I'm not opposed to Detroit against Chicago. That's not a bad one. But I'd probably go with the Packers at home and just making plays. But it's tough.
Hey, Smitty, how's your workouts going? Had a great leg workout the other day.
I
Hope
got
everything's going good.
I gotta put in a pump today. I gotta try and keep on my rhythm. I've got my printout sheet, pal. I printed it out today, and so as I work out, I need everybody to hold me accountable. I want to get ripped. I said I was gonna get ripped on the show in 15 days, and I never did. Cordelli Patterson. So, let me put a countdown timer on here. Let's put myself on blast here. In 14 days, I am going to be shredded. And if I'm not, I want you all to make fun of me like crazy. So we need to put, what's 24 hours? 24 hours times 14 days is 336 hours. Will my timer even allow me to do that? Countdown. Oh, and I can do a countdown to a day. Okay, so we're gonna do the 15th of October. If I'm not shredded, and like if I don't look like an absolute beast, if you think that Silver couldn't, like if you think Silver could bounce me out of my own show as my bouncer, like if you, I want you to be like, Silver can't hold you back, bro. Like Silver's gonna have a tough time containing you. If my own bouncer can't contain me, then we know that I did my job. Smitty will be ripped. 15 days. Or 16 or whatever it is. 10, 15. It's a little over 15 days. I will be ripped. And I want you to hold me accountable. I want you to ask me, hey, how's the workout going? Like Bender did.
Hey, Smitty. Schultz or Knox?
Like Rock Out.
PPR.
Rock Out, sorry. Schultz. Schultz has proven it, pal. He's uncontainable. I want to be uncontained. Like right now, I'm not ripped. Like I'm a rather big dude, I guess. You know, I've got some meat on the cannons, but there's no definition there yet. There's no definition there. There's no. I used to have, you know, decent tries. They're a little bit there. They're kind of bubble wrapped. The abs are bubble wrapped right now. Like I'm not fit. Like I go running with my shirt off. You know, 2 years ago it might have been. You know, I might have you know got a couple honks. You know, now I feel like, you know, that car pulls up of the you know, the party kids, and they might do a ew comment. I don't like that feeling. I'm changing things around here. We're going on Spotify video. We've got to be in shape and ripped and looking good and mean and cut. I'm doing it. I'm doing it live. We're working out. I have 15 days and 6 hours and 15 days, 6 minutes and 47 seconds. 15 days. 10:15. Your man Smitty's going to be shredded. This little pea shooter right here is going to look like a cannon, like a missile. It's going to be a missile. You watch. Kyle.
Which Cards wide receiver do you like this week with Ramsey shadowing Hopkins? Thanks. Which Cards wide receiver do you like this week with Ramsey shadowing Hopkins?
I mean, I still think Hopkins could have a solid day, but he's banged up, so who knows what's going to happen there. I'm going to go with Rondell Moore. I like Kirk and Moore. Kirk has been playing so good. Kirk is like literally, if you've been starting Kirk, you're maybe winning your league. Like Kirk has been going crazy. But I'm gonna say they're both gonna do well. I don't know that I feel like one's gonna out. I think they're both gonna have good games. Kirk is a good player. Kirk is really a decent play this week. But I think Rondell Moore is so explosive. And if they're trying to mix things up and get the field spread out, I think they're going to turn to Rondell Moore again. And everybody loved him, and now they're like worried about him again because he did nothing in week 3. But I like Rondell Moore a ton. Terry, thank you for the super chat. Terry says, I will work out with you. Thank you, Terry. Hold me accountable, Terry. Hold me accountable. Odell versus Minnesota or Marvin Jones versus Cincy. Thank you for the super chat, pal. What did Marvin Jones do last week? Believe it or not, I don't memorize everything. So I'm going to pull this up. Marvin Jones, it's been steady. He's been steady Eddie. 9 targets, 11 targets, 8 targets. Receptions are 5, 6, and 6. Receiving yards 77, 55, 62. 1 TD, 1 TD, 0 TDs. He's been pretty steady. Steady Eddie. I'd probably go... Man, he is steady. I'd probably go with Odell for the upside. But, I mean, if you need safety, Marvin's pretty steady, man. Rock out. Get ripped for Spotify. Attaboy. Derek McKissick for Pollard PPR, and Gibson is hurt. Gibson's hurt. Oh, well, he's just not practicing. He's just dealing with a shin issue. You scared me there for a minute, Derek. Yeah, I mean, Pollard's going to win you a league if he gets into the lineup, but he's not in the lineup right now. And McKissick's a pretty good play. Not that Pollard isn't a good play too, but Zeke looks really good. I'm going to lean McKissick right now, but long term, if this isn't like you need the points now, you're 0-3, whatever, I'm liking Pollard as that hold and wait, but you know, I understand if you need to react to the now, and McKissick would be the better play, I think, for the now. Marlon, I'm sorry if I didn't see this yet, pal. And I think I got all the other super chats. Remind me, if you ever don't see me respond. Marlon, are you still here? Hopefully you're still here, Marlon. Always remind me if I don't see one. I have Kamara, Najee Harris, Singletary, and Melvin Gordon as my running back. Should I trade Harris for Jonathan Taylor and Mark Ingram? No. Like, if you could get like a Deontay and Jonathan, like maybe I'm contemplating that. You know what I mean? And even that, I want you to get like a Jonathan Taylor and a Ridley. Thank you, Marlon. I appreciate it. Sorry about the wait. Just remind me if I ever don't see it, because sometimes like a bunch of messages flood through, and then if the super chat comes in at the same time, it's like at the top of those for that flood. I have Kamara. Yeah, bro, you can't do that. You're not getting enough. Mark Ingram's nothing. He's nothing. I don't even pick him up. Like, there's leagues where he's out there. I'm not picking him up. Like, Jonathan Taylor's a severe downgrade from Najee Harris right now. You're getting nothing that helps you. If you were to get like I said, a Deontay, I would consider it. I'd almost want a better wide receiver than even that. Would I do it for like a Ridley? Or even if you gave up somebody small and upgraded into Ridley, I'd maybe do that. But no way. Not a chance am I downgrading Harris into JT. JT's a disaster right now. Brandon with a super chat. Overcome with a super chat. And Rock Out. Rip for Spotify. Thank you again, pal. Overcome says, Gibby, Ridley for Henry. Gibby and Ridley. What do you guys think about that? He's got J-Rob. Oh, no. You didn't give us your lineup. J-Rob, Deontay for Chubb. I take that. I take Chubb for Deontay and J-Rob. But chat, let's help out Overcome. Ridley and Gibby for Henry. Are we what are we thinking on that one? If you could drop make it rain for Overcome with an answer, that would be a help. Need a running back 2 without giving up my core wide receiver group. The Cook owner offered me Melvin Gordon, Higbee for Madison, and Michael Carter. Melvin Gordon and Higbee for your Madison and Carter. Do you accept? That's a tough one. Like, in theory, yes. But I mean, if Madison's going to start again, like, that's a huge week for you that you're missing out. if he doesn't start and Cook returns to the lineup, this is a pretty decent trade for you because Melvin Gordon's getting work and Higbee's pretty darn good. But I don't know that you're like getting a home run here. Like he's buying Madison at a very reasonable price, is what I would say. So it's not that I don't like it. 142 likes, 131 people in here. Terry did his job. We have tipped the scale. Attaboy. But if you are new, you walked in, please hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel. Thank you, Terry, for doing your job so well. We got I want Gibby and Ridley side. Too much value there. Couple people are saying Ridley and Gibby. So in your situation, Ridley and Gibby might help you if you need to make a move. Like, now's the time to trade Henry. You could even wait till after this week if you wanted to try and get one more, because he has a good opportunity here. But if he misses, if he falls, stumbles in this situation with no wide receivers up against a terrible team, you might not be able to sell him for the same price later. So you got to kind of play the odds. Do you think Gibson will have a good enough day to complement or counteract what Henry's going to probably do? Henry's could potentially have a big week, so expect to watch him blow up. The worst thing too is if Ridley and Gibson did like nothing, and then Henry had a 45-point week, and Ridley and Gibson combined for like 14 points, you're going to be sick. So you're giving up the better player. He's got a great matchup. Wouldn't be crazy to wait, but what if Gibson goes nuts? It's tough to say. It's tough. It really is tough. You got to decide, are you capable of waiting, or do you need to make a move now? Burrow or Cousins week 4? Burrow or Cousins? Burrow's at home against the Jaguars, though, bro, tonight. Thursday night is always so tough to predict. I don't know why. What it is about traditionally, like, obviously opening night was great, but I don't know what it is about Thursday night and low-scoring games, or why the spotlight doesn't trigger something. Cousins is playing great. Let's see here. What do you guys think? Cousins at home against the Bears. I didn't know if that was at home. Cousins at home against the Bears, or Burrow at home against the Jaguars tonight. What are you guys thinking? I'm new and walked in. Rush, I appreciate you, Rush. Rush says he's new and walked in. Good stuff. Thank you, Rush. Here, let's give Rush a little spotlight action. Attaboy, Rush. I think I saw something earlier where Rush said something about being fun at a party. Burrow, Overcome says Burrow. Zach says Burrow against Trevor. Burrow. There you have it, Burrow. You bet, pal. Oh, I got rid of that super chat. Let me go find it. Brandon. Oh. What do you guys say about this one? Should he do this one? Melvin Gordon and Higbee for Madison and Carter. Should he go get Melvin Gordon and Higbee using Madison right now, or wait on trading Madison? I feel like you could get more from that owner if you pushed him, because whether Cook comes back or not, he's nervous. He's like, he's nervous. He wants potentially to get that cuff in case Cook goes down again. Cook went down multiple times and kept trying to come back, and he did come back, but then he sat the next week. I feel like Cook, Madison could be, you could get a lot. Burrow it is, Smitty. Let's go. All right, official. Thursdays are weird, though. I worry about that part. Cousins versus the Browns, says Scott. I'm tempted. I feel like Thielen, and that's the part. Hold on, Overcome. That's the part that worries me. I see Cousins throwing a touchdown to Thielen. I see him throwing a touchdown to Jefferson. Jefferson's gonna have a big day. Thielen could have a big day. Like, how could Cousins not have a big day? Then again, Burrow's gonna toss a couple to Jamar. I don't know. The Jaguars, playing the Jaguars is like a gift. I'm gonna say Burrow, but I'm so tempted. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you, pal. Ayuk is going to have a big week. He could. Robinson or Miles Sanders. I think J-Rob gets phased out of the game, but I'm going to go Miles Sanders, man. But that could come back to bite me. Cousins at home. You got to do it right now, says Rush. Thursday games are all about how well the short week teams travel usually. Yeah, it can be. That could be a big reason. Actually, crazy. I never really put too much thought into the travel part of that. Because Thursdays are always bad games, like traditionally. And you got to wonder why. And that definitely is one.
Brother, you've been grinding. You're one of the best in the business.
Thank you, D2.
You're entertaining. You're informative. You bring the good shit. Congratulations from D2W Stu.
Thank you, D2W. I appreciate you, pal. Kirk Cousins or Joe Burrow. Okay, this guy can't. He says he's at work. He can't use his speaker. You're still live, pal, and I'm going to answer you live because that's how I roll. You wish you could use your speaker, but your phone is broke. Not you're at work. Okay. Kirk Cousins or Burrow. Oh, that was you. That's got to be you, huh? I don't know who's who on Instagram and YouTube. That's got to be you, pal, but I think we answered that question. We went over it for 10 minutes. Was that you? Was that you, Christian? Was that Christian? Odell or Debo? Give me Debo.
Yo, Smitty, Higby or Fant?
Spencer. Higby or Fant? Higby right now. Higby, pal. Higby for me. Fant's in a good spot. Vito.
Hey, Smitty, I'm looking to sell high on Mike Williams and Melvin Gordon in a package deal. Who would be a good person or a combination to target? Thanks.
Mike Williams and Melvin Gordon. Gibson. But you probably want a little more because I think you could get more for Mike Williams than just Gibson. I know it sounds crazy, 3 weeks into football, but I do like Gibby a lot as a buy low. So if you need a running back. Ridley, DK, Diggs, all the usual suspects that are very, very low-key buy lows right now. So Melvin Gordon and Mike Williams, I would trade. Look what happened to Justin Jefferson. You're not going to get a Justin Jefferson now. And I like JJ. So I feel the same way about DK, Diggs. I go get those bad boys, pal. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yo, what's going on? Big fan. The Christian McCaffrey team owner is trying to trade for Chuba Hubbard for me. I don't know what I should go for on this team. He has Justin Herbert, Taylor Lockett, D Hop, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, George Kittle, Corey Davis. He also has David Johnson, Damian Harris, Rondale Moore, and really that's it. What should I do?
I try and upgrade into one of his bigger guns, so like you said, Hopkins, right? Let's see.
Yo, what's going on? Big fan. The Christian McCaffrey team owner is trying to trade for Chuba Hubbard for me. I don't know what I should go for on this team. He has Justin Herbert, Taylor Lockett, D Hop, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, George Kittle.
Okay, so I'd try and upgrade into D Hop. D Hop's hurt though, so it sucks because you might be trading for him and him have a bad week. But I still trade for D Hop if you can. like using, your wide receiver 1, like if it's a significant upgrade. Use Chuba Hubbard to upgrade into the best of the best. If your quarterback's, struggling a little bit, you could trade into Herbert, but I don't know if you've got a better quarterback than Herbert. Not very many quarterbacks are better than Herbert, but you might have one of the 3 or 4 that are comparable. That's how I use Chuba Hubbard, man. I don't use Chuba Hubbard as a straight up one player for one player. How you use Chuba Hubbard to your advantage is you add him into the deal as an additive, and you do 2 for 1, and you make that owner upgrade into, like, your Keenan Allen into, the best, one of the best wide receivers in the league. Like, upgrade into a Tyreek Hill type of guy. Like, so Hopkins qualifies. The problem is Hopkins is banged up. We got some super chats we got to get to. Overcome. Cameron. Rush. Appreciate you, Rush. Rush is new to the show, too. Rush, how did you find us, by the way? I'm curious to know. Just wanted to show support. Keep rocking it. Thank you, Rush. And would love to know how you found us. Did you find us in a random YouTube search or what? Recommendation? Just curious, my man. Always like to know how people find me. 12-man, $100 league, 2-1 with Tannehill, Diggs, Ridley, Gibby, J-Rob, Andrews, A-Rob, Deontay on the bench looking for a solid running back to trade for. I like Diggs and Ridley. Don't touch that. I love Gibby at the value. J-Rob, go get JT. And he might even struggle again this week. So this isn't a trade offer you even got to do right now. You try and do it now in case he bounces back, but you might be able to get JT next week. But JT, I think, will be one of those guys that fails everybody. Anybody that invested in JT is going to practically lose their league because of it. But you could come in and get him at rock bottom pricing, and then if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But probably will have a big bounce back. It's like he's such a disappointment. Once he's got everybody's, nobody expects anything out of him, then boom, he blows up because he's got no pressure. Like, I feel like that's the way he lives in fantasy football. So go get JT. I would try and do that. Otherwise, you could go after a hurt McCaffrey if you think you could weather it, but I think JT's the one target. You already got Gibby. He would be my other target. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I suppose. Clyde, I'd go after Clyde. Jamar Chase and Mixon. Jamar Chase or Mixon. Diggs. Oh, Zeke. I'm sorry. I didn't see Zeke right there. Zeke, Chase, or Mixon, Diggs. Give me... Oh, that's a tough one. Zeke or Chase, Mixon, Diggs. Give me Zeke and Jamar. Jamar's playing great. Zeke's playing great. That's close, though. That really, honestly, Diggs is enough of an upgrade over Jamar in my mind, at least. We're only 3 weeks in, that I think Mixon and Zeke are about the same kind of distance apart. A little higher risk counting on a rookie wide receiver. So I would say if you are a dice roller, Cameron, then Zeke and Chase. But if you want safety, Mixon and Diggs is probably safer. Does anybody disagree? Does anybody like Mixon and Diggs that much more? Like, am I off there? I think I could be convinced to go one way or the other. So I'm going to leave this up here and ask you guys what you think. And then we'll answer that. I've tried 20 or 30 shows this way. Let me see. This is how Rush found us. I'm interested. Just clicked live at my YouTube front page. It was just luck. Okay, so it was a YouTube recommendation when I was live. I've tried 20 or 30 shows this way. Yours finally hit the home run. Attaboy, Rush! Attaboy, Rush. Should I trade Madison? He owns Cook and Scary Terry for Najee. Should I trade Madison? He owns Cook and Scary Terry for Najee. Yes, I'd take Najee Harris in a heartbeat. Go Mixon and Diggs. This is King Wasabi. What's up, Alex? Appreciate you, pal. I probably won't remember that's you, so, remind me every once in a while, because everybody's names are different. Mark says Zeke and Chase. This is where it's at, Rush. Okay, for the final 5 minutes, I'm doing rapid fire. Rapid fire. Oh, hold on, Roberto. Traded Mark Ingram and AJ Green for Darrell Henderson. I have solid wide receivers. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't love any side of that trade, to be honest with you. Darrell Henderson worries me. Are they going to continue to feed him? Keep rocking it. Appreciate the support, pal. Okay, rapid fire. Make your questions very fast, please. In the chat, go. I want to take care of the chat. 46 people in here, 160 likes. Thank you, Terry, Flex, Corey Davis, Kirk Calloway, Marshall. I'm going to go with Kirk this week. J-Rob show tonight. I don't know if it is, pal. J-Rob or Javonte. Give me Javonte, but barely, man. I just feel like that J-Rob could get phased out. But trust your gut because it's very close. And both of them are extremely risky right now. Damian Harris or Gaskin rest of the season. Damian for right now because you got James White out for the year, but that could change. Higbee, Pitts. Give me Higbee for now, but I like Pitts. Trade for him on the low. Patrick or AB. Come on! It's AB, pal. Hurts or Lamar. Not even close to Lamar right now. We don't trust Hurts. Hunt for Lockett. If you need a running back, I like Hunt. If you need a wide receiver, I like Lockett. Very even. Trade Dalvin for JT and Mike Williams. Take Mike Williams and JT, I think, because Dalvin's banged up. You get 2 players there. But only if you need a trade. If you don't need a trade, keep Dalvin Cook. Actually, keep Dalvin Cook. I like if you have Madison, keep Dalvin Cook. If you don't have Madison, it's a little bit scary, but I think Dalvin Cook is worth JT and Williams. I think he is. I'm sorry. I'm going to say keep Dalvin Cook. Rondell, Javonte. Give me Javonte this week, but very close. Problem says my bench, Sermon, Pollard, Madison, Patterson, Gordon, Higgins, Rondell Moore. Any trade moves to upgrade starters? Dak, Najee, Gibby, Adams, Lamb, Pitts, Debo. Let's see. I would probably trade. I love Lamb. I love Adams. I like Pitts, actually. I love Najee. I like Gibby. The only thing I would look to do, man, is maybe upgrade Gibby if you can, because he's the only worry here, right? And I don't know that you can get rid of any of these bench guys to do it. I don't think you have a real big move to make, pal. Your team's very, very solid. You got Hubbard on the bench. Go to the one move I would recommend for you is go to the CMC owner, see if you can upgrade Gibby or Najee, like if he's got a Kamara, like Gibby or whatever, using Hubbard to upgrade one of your players, or let's say they have like a Kelsey or a Waller. You could do what you can to use Hubbard to your advantage. Trade Hubbard to get an upgrade. If that team doesn't have an ability to upgrade you on anything using Hubbard, I don't know that you got a move to make. You got a really good team. I wouldn't mess with it too much. Trade Eckler for Gibby and JJ. Give me Gibby and JJ in a heartbeat. Start Bengals D or Washington D. Bengals are the play this week, pal, at home tonight. Chubb or Monty for Chubb for Monty and Ridley. I suppose I go Monty and Ridley if you need to make a move and you're not doing well. But otherwise keep Chubb. He's rolling, and Ridley hasn't exploded yet, but I think he will bounce back. Super chatted. Please let me know. Okay, let me look for your super chat. Here we go. Marvin Jones or Cooks, worried about Cooks matchup. Marvin's pretty steady. Pal. I probably lean, but I think I keep starting Cooks. Marvin's steady, but Cooks has been doing well. I don't think I could sit Cooks. Chat, does anybody disagree with that? Please help a pal out. He needs your help. Chase, DJ Moore for Diggs. Give me Chase and DJ Moore. As much as I love Diggs. Burrow and Pitts for A-Rod. Probably, if you have Waller, I would probably do that. Carr versus the Chargers or Baker versus the Vikings. Give me Carr for right now, which sounds so weird. I don't know that I feel comfortable with that, but that's the way it is right now. Cooks. Don't bench Cooks. He's on fire. I agree with everybody. I agree. J-Rob or Monty. Hyde is out. I think I roll with Monty right now. I feel like J-Rob could get phased out of this game, but trust your gut. It's close enough to trust your gut. Only you got to live with your decision. So definitely trust your gut. Chase or Thielen this week? Bro, that's a tough one. Michael, I'd probably say Jamar Chase, but you can't go wrong. You will go wrong. One will outscore the other probably, but I mean, up front, I don't think you're making a bad decision going either way. Clyde, JJ for Eckler. Give me Clyde and JJ if you need to make a move. I like that. Clyde's very, very undervalued right now for good reason. Like, there's some risk, but I do like him a little bit. Hopkins or Waddle this week. I'm going Hopkins. I can't sit Hopkins. I can't sit my studs. I know he's banged up. I know he's got some tough coverage, but I'm going Hopkins. Trade Christian Kirk, MT, and Elijah Mitchell for Tyreek. Kirk, MT, Mitchell. Yeah, in a heartbeat. Go get Tyreek Hill. Marvin Jones or Woods. Give me Roberto Trees, Robert Woods, Bobby Trees. Get Robert Woods in your lineup this week. I really think he's going to have that week that people have been waiting for. Javonte Williams or Jamal Williams? I don't really know which one it is. I'm assuming it's Javonte. Harris or Hines? Go Harris this week. James White's out. I think they'll lean on him quite a bit. We will see. Madison or Monty? You got to go Madison if he's starting, and if he's not, then easy call. So that'll determine that for you. But Madison, if he's playing, is a top 5 to 10 running back. Keenan Allen for Ridley. I think you could probably keep Allen right now to be safe, but I'm not opposed to either one outscoring the other. I love both of them. Odell, AB, or Deontay. Give me AB or Deontay. Deontay's probably a tad safer. AB coming off of the COVID. We don't know exactly how his lungs are doing. Not a lot of updates on that. So safe play would be Deontay, and I think he gets fed a ton, but I do like AB this week a ton as well. And I think AB's getting major disrespect right now, and I don't get it. That's going to do it. Rapid fire session. We didn't get to fantasy football court. Rush, I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate everybody in here. We've got how many people in the room? 140. Let's do fantasy football court with Rush only. He's new to the channel. Rush, give me your question. We're going to take you to fantasy football court one time. Only you. Special little thing for you, pal. Here we go.
It's time for fantasy football. Court.
Rush, give me your question. One question, Rush. No pressure. No pressure, pal. We didn't do fantasy football court. We haven't done it in a week. So we're doing one question. One question. Here we go. Rush wants to know Osborne or Williams for the Lions. Give me Jamal Williams. But it is close. That is a good question. And it could go either way. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Lincoln. Thank you, Joel. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you, Terry, for manning the likes and getting us over the 100 mark like you always do. Rush, I appreciate you. James, Joel, Justin, Lewis, Scott, Kane, Derek, Matt, Jason Loy, all of you, appreciate you. Peace out.